And our next presenter is from Bitrise. He's a developer advocate at Bitrise and 12 years of experience from various industries. And he will talk about scale up mobile UI tests with Firebase Test Lab at Cloud Function. So welcome on stage, Moataz Nabil. Please correct me on my pronunciation. I hope it was good. So welcome on stage.
Thank you, Tash. Thank you for having me today. And hi, everyone. I'm very happy to be with you today. I will share my screen. Okay, so can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. So today we will talking about a scale-up mobile UI test with the Firebase Test Lab, Cloud Functions, and Bitrise. So my name is Moataz Nabil. Currently, I'm working as a developer advocate at Bitrise, and I'm focusing more on mobile DevOps and test automation and everything related to the mobile DevOps. So previously, I was working in different companies and different business domains like agriculture, telecom, healthcare, fashion, and food delivery. And I was focusing more on the test automation. So because that I build most of our, like a lot of test automation frameworks for mobile web and API using different set of tools and technologies. And I also implemented different CI/CD pipeline using different tools. And currently I'm working as you said, the developer advocate and the Bitrise expert. Information or what is Bitrise and like in small sentences. So Bitrise help you to build and operate better mobile apps faster. So it's a mobile CI/CD as a service. So you can just start building your mobile application in a simple way, and it's supporting all the different mobile applications, even it's native or cross-platform, iOS, Android, React Native, Flutter, and all the mobile applications or platforms. And as simple as it's like make easier for the developers and test engineers or all the development team to working together, removing any silos from the teams and make it easier to release and maintain mobile applications, because we know that sometimes mobile releases take a long time in the like reviewing cycles or testing cycles. So we are trying to eliminate or to reduce this time as much as we can. Also, we enable teams to scale more quickly and efficiently. So you can use Bitrise, you can add your team in an easy way, and you can start building your CI/CD pipeline in easy steps. And also it's allow the developers for like applying the mobile DevOps in practice or like quickly and like creating your workflow as you want. So then let's start talking about our problems. So usually I start like talking about problems because that we are talking about the solution. So for example, we are talking about Firebase Test Lab and the Cloud Function with Bitrise, but what are our problems to start talking about these tools? So testing solutions have become more scalable than ever, and most of the organizations now are moving to test automation from manual testing. And another point is when we are talking especially about emulators and simulators, they are always slow to start, and test takes forever to finish, or even fail because of timeout or performance issues, and we start like rerunning our test again and just to make them pass. And this is the main problem. So testing are scaling in the organizations, but we have problems in the infrastructure sometimes where we can run our UI test. Shall we integrate our test in the CI/CD pipeline or in the DevOps practice? Because test automation is a vital part in the mobile CI/CD. So because that test automation is important, and if we are talking or we are thinking about the mobile DevOps or in general the DevOps in workflow, so the test automation is a vital part in this pipeline or in this workflow. Because that we are thinking, or we need to think about a solution to like help us in this one. So to make things easier, there are cloud providers such as Firebase Test Lab. So We will move from running our test in our dedicated or in our local devices, because emulators and simulators, and also we have different issues related to the setup and infrastructure. We need to update the devices are locked and we need to open it and so on. And we need to move to the cloud services or cloud providers, such as Firebase Test Lab. So Firebase Test Lab, one of the like cloud-based app testing infrastructure that lets us to test our test automation for mobile on different devices and the configuration, so you can get better idea about how the application is behave on the different devices. For example, I'm using different operating system versions at different devices with different manufacturers, so I can check my test cases are running on Pixel or I can running on Samsung and so on. And we have, or we can check also the live users, how they are using our applications within the test cases. And it's support for sure virtual and real devices for Android and iOS, and you can use any versions, and it's supported almost the latest version of the operating systems. And you can also create your matrix, and it can be a combination between the different OS and the different devices as well. And it's integrated with a Firebase console, so you can upload your application or test cases to Firebase console, to the web console, or you can run it from the Android Studio if you are already logged into the Firebase in the Android Studio, and you can run it from GCP Cloud CLI command. So there is a one command that, for example, run Android test, and then after that you can start running or passing your argument. And for sure it can run or integrated with any continuous integration system. So because that, we are always thinking about cloud devices to fix these issues or to like speed up our process. The idea about testing with Firebase. So for example, here we have a test suite. It's including, for example, 5 test cases, and each test case, it's we can assume that it takes 5 minutes. And this the way that we are running on Firebase. So we are building our, if we are talking about Android especially, we are building our application for UI test, for example. So this will give us 2 APKs, the application under test APK itself and the test APK. So our test cases, if we are using Espresso or like a native tool for test automation, we will have a test APK, including our test cases. And we have the application itself as the APK. Then we are uploading these 2 APKs to the Firebase Test Lab to start testing them. So the test cases usually on Firebase Test Lab run in sequential mode. So for example, if you are like have 5 test cases and each one is take 5 minutes, so at least we can have a 25 minutes running on all the suites that we have. But you can imagine also after that, what if we have 100 test cases or we have 500 test cases running on one device, which will take long time. So because that, I add the time here because we have another solution after that to try to eliminate or try to reduce this time with another solution with Firebase Test Lab. But for the time being, let's start with the normal way that we are running in a sequential mode with Firebase Test Lab. And this is, for example, this is our CI workflow in Bitrise. So you can say, for example, you can integrate it with your cloud, or with your code base. And in each push or commit or any change on your source code, you can start like trigger a webhook with GitHub, or you can also integrate GitLab or Bitbucket. So it's integrated with all of them. And then Bitrise we will start adding one step for building Android or building the application for UI test. And this is the steps that we have. And this steps is like compile, or this is in the workflow view. So then when we are building a UI test, we have 2 APKs here, and then we are sending the APKs to Firebase Test Lab using another step. So this is a beta, or this is the step for visual device on Firebase. And then Firebase Test Lab will start running the test in one matrix. This run the test a sequential way, and then Firebase we will get, or Firebase will send the artifacts or the result to Bitrise again. And here we have add-ons. It's called test report. This test report is displaying the result or the test cases or the videos and the screenshot from the Firebase Test Lab. So we can open this one after we build after we finish the build, and we can check this one for the result. And then we can also send the build status to the GitHub if we are running on pull request, for example. So it can be passed or fail, and we can start talking about this one. So here we have also here we have different steps for caching. So here we can also start like saving any information that we need in the cache, and then we can also displaying the test report. So let's start to one demo, and here I can open the let's open the browser. And here, for example, this is a dashboard if I have account on Bitrise. So this is almost all the latest build or the builds that I have for one application. And here, this is a workflow editor. So from here, you can design whatever you want in your CI/CD. You just need to think about what you need exactly from Bitrise, because you have a lot of steps and a lot of integration steps, and especially for mobile applications. For example, here I add, we have one for SSH for the repository, clone the repository, build the application for UI test. And from here, you can specify the model that you wanted to build, the build variant. For example, if you have a debug release, so you can specify here. And this step will give us two environment variables, the application or the APK path and the test APK path. And this one also will run or will take these two APKs from this environment variable and start sending them to Firebase. This is the integration steps, and is working internally with Firebase. So you don't need to add any Google authentication or Google service JSON file or anything. This step is integrated internally, and it's take your test to the Firebase Test Lab. So here we are taking the APK or the bundle, and also we can here specifying. So these are the devices that is already supported now on Firebase. So this is the list. So here you can specifying that it's a Pixel 2 with version 29 with language English, for example, and the device portraits, for example, for if you wanted to use different ways. And the test type here, we have also 3 types of tests. This is also what supported on Firebase Test Lab. We have instrumentation, which is a UI test or the functional testing for mobile application using Espresso as a native tool. We have a robo. It's like a monkey testing, or it's like it's opening the application and started doing random actions on the application. And this is like a robo or robot or monkey testing. And the game loops, this is especially for games. So here also you can specify the instrumentation. You can add anything else here. You can use orchestrator. This is like something for Espresso. And then after that, you can open the, so you can open, for example, here, this is the result. And for example, we can trigger one build just to start running it. And while we are exploring the result, for example, here I can, for sure, it can trigger based on commit or any change on the code repository, or we can start from here. You can specify the branch. You can also select different workflows. So here I have different workflows, and each workflow including different steps. For example, here I am trying to run the UI test. So I wanted to run Android UI test, and then I will start the build. So this build will start cloning the code and then start running it one. And also here I running it manually because it's not triggered based on anything. So here we start our build, and in the log, you can start exploring the things. So until it's finished, so we can start check the succeed one. So here, this is almost the test cases that we have in our demo. It take almost 10 minutes, and this is the build number. And then after that, you can check all the log and the steps. So for example, here, this is the virtual device, and this is the Android build for UI test. Here we are, because we're specifying the module to be debug, and this is a debug Android test. So it's transformed to a Gradle command. So we are running assemble debug and assemble debug Android test to build both the APKs. And then we start building. And then after that, another safe virtual is start taking our configuration and start running the test. And after that, we get the result here, and the test result is succeeded, and it almost take 5 minutes to run our test. And then after that, we can check the test report, and this is the add-on for test report. I already opened it in the new screen or new tab, and this is the result that we are getting from the Firebase. So here, for example, we have 16 test cases on the device, and we can open the test cases. Here, this is a test cases. It's a simple calculation application. Here we can find the result, and also this is the performance, how the application was like behaving during our UI test, and this is also the video. All of these data we are getting it from Firebase Test Lab. So this is the video, and we can start running it, and it will start displaying, or we can download it from here. A screenshot, it should implement it from our UI test, and this is a test artifact. So here you can find all the logcat and also the test report, and also we have all the logs that can be displayed, error warning, and all the things. And now we can go to this one. So we are now building our application, and we can follow the build. Then after that, we can go back and like check the test result. And usually, this is what we are using with the step that we have for the Firebase Test Lab. But now let's assume that we have 100 test cases. We don't have 5 test cases, or we don't have 16. So we have 100 test cases, and they are running sequentially. So this will take time, and also we need to find another solution for this problem. So let's again, so we will leave it until it's built, and we will check it again. But let's return back to our demo and start talking about the problems again now. So we found already a solution, and we start adding our CI/CD, or we start adding our UI test in our CI/CD workflow in every pull request or in every commit. So we will run the UI test, and if there is any problem, it will fail the build, and the BR will stuck here, and we should, as a team, start investigating what's the problem in the UI test. But the problem is here that we are running in sequential mode. So executing a large test suite can take some time to finish, as Firebase run tests in sequentially, as we mentioned. And also another thing, we need to get a test lab result. We need to get notified about the result from the Firebase Test Lab directly to Slack channel, for example, to the team to be notified that we have a problem or the test result is failed, to start investigating on the Firebase or what the problem in Firebase. So here we have another two challenges, and we need to start thinking about solution for these two challenges. Then the solution is we will start using Flank. Flank is a wrapper, or is a runner, test runner for Firebase Test Lab especially, and Flank for running Barrel Android and iOS test for Firebase Test Lab. So because the problem is a sequential run, so we will start run Barrel, all the tests, we start splitting them in Barrel execution, and then after that we start like spinning up different devices and start running them in the same time. So Barrel execution here, or Barrel test here, we are not running all the test cases in one device or different devices, but you are splitting them or divided them in groups, small groups, and then start running on different devices using Flank. So Flank is an open source project and is developed by Walmart, and you can find it for sure on the GitHub. And it's a YAML configuration file. It's compatible for GCP Cloud. For example, before we use Flank, or if you wanted to use a Firebase test run using a GCP Cloud command line, this is usually what you wanted to do. So you should install the GCP Cloud CLI, and then after that, and also you need to configure your service account to be able to run the test. And then you should use GCP Cloud Firebase Test Android Run, and then you should pass most of the arguments or the parameters from this command. For example, you should pass the app, the device name, the test APK, the type of the test, and all the things. So the Flank is transformed this way to a YAML file configuration to be an easy way. And this is the way that we are using Flank. So Flank, we just create one YAML file, and for sure you can create it on fly, or you can have it on your code repository. And with a GCP Cloud, here we can specifying a cloud bucket. For example, here we are saying we will save the result on this bucket, for example, TA report or test automation report. And inside this bucket, we can create every time for each build, we can create one build or one folder for each build. So for example, in the result directory, we can add the Bitrise build number, which is the environment variable that take the build number and it will create a folder with this one. And for record the video, we will record the video, the timeout, synchronous, the application. We are taking it from the environment variable from Bitrise, and the test APK as well. Use orchestrator no, or we can say true. And there's the environment variable for coverage, for clear package data between the tests, directories to pull from the emulator or from the device, performance metrics false, for example, and test the target. So here you can specifying what the test that I'm able or I wanted to or I'm planning to run through Flank. So for example, here you can specifying package, you can specifying class, you can specifying annotation. So you can use anything from like all the things from the GCP Cloud. And the main idea about here, also you have a device, you can specify the version or the model. And the main idea about Flank, this is the main idea. So the max test shards. So here we are saying we will run on 3 shards. This means that we are planning to split our test in 3 groups, and then we will start spinning, or the Flank will start spinning 3 devices on Firebase Test Lab, and then start running in parallel. And a number of tests to be able to, we don't need to repeat the test, we just need to run it one time. And this is smart Flank, this is an XML file. We are saving the data or the test result in this file to run it to check after, and the next time that is already how the test cases or the time for the test cases or the test execution previously, and we start comparing with this one. So again, we start.
Sorry, Moataz, just to interrupt, just a few minutes left, if you don't mind to speed up.
Yeah. Okay. So the main idea for sharding is this is again, we have the test cases and we are start using shards or Flank. So we will start splitting the 5 test cases on different devices. And how does it work? Is just you should have a cloud project, Firebase account, add a project to Firebase, service account JSON, and download the JSON, put it at the environment variable, a secret key on Bitrise. And you should also enable the Google Cloud testing API and the tools in the Google Cloud. And about the notifications, this also just quickly, this we are using, or I'm using in this example, a cloud function to send the result or start a listener or start as a listener on the test matrix on Firebase Test Lab. Once the test matrix is finished, so we can start getting notification immediately on the Slack notification. So here we have a posting, or so you can add the incoming webhook using Firebase, deploying your function using this command Firebase function, and set the webhook that we are targeting to send the notification there, and deploying our Google function. And it starts as a test, and once the test is finished, we will find something like this one notification on our notification. So again, this is the same, but just we change that we will download the Google service key and saving it in as an environment variable or secrets on Bitrise, and then we start using a Flank, and we will run on Firebase using a function to test or send the result to Slack notification and send the artifacts to this one. So just a quick, so now this one is finished, and this almost take 9 minutes. And this is one for that we are using a Flank. So here we are downloading, and you have here also secrets to saving your JSON file. And we have a Flank here, generate the Flank configuration. This is a YAML file, run Flank command. And then after that, you will find here in the build result that we are using Flank. If we open this Flank, you will find this is the YAML file that we generated. And then after that, you will get this as 7 test cases. And in this case, Flank, because it's a smart, so it will not open or what create 3 shards, because it's at the end it's 7 test cases, so it's only 1 shards. And after that, start running the matrix, and then it's give us the price or the cost of our run and with Firebase Test Lab, and also we get the result from here. And if you open this one, this is the cloud function. So from here you can check the logs that it's already posted to the Slack notification. And for sure, you can find this one. If you open Firebase Test Lab, this is the run that we are running. So we have a 7 here, and you can check every one, or also you can check the videos that related to this test cases. So this is the main idea about how you can integrate like cloud function Firebase Test Lab in your CI/CD for mobile testing. And this is also the documentation or resources to help you to understand well. And yeah, so this is the main idea about how you can use Firebase Test Lab, Bitrise, and Google Functions together to start speeding your UI test and inside your CI/CD. Thank you.
Moataz, thank you very much for the presentation. We ran out of time a little bit, so sorry for the participants. Let me share my final screen for a second. Yes, so we can go back. We can go back to the Mentimeter if you don't mind. Please participate and tell us how was the meetup. There will be QA session after this closing, so please stay. If you have further question to Miklos or to Moataz, you will have the opportunity. Thanks everyone, and thanks for the presenters for participating. We will send out a feedback form. I think it's already in the chat. Please fill this up and give us valuable feedback. In case you have any topic in your mind, please, for the next meetup, don't hesitate to contact us. Thanks for everyone. If you have any further question after the meetup, you can post the questions to our Facebook group as well, and all the presenters will be there for online answers. So questions to Moataz first. A few seconds of awkward silence, maybe someone. You can write it in chat or shout out loud. Yes, we have. Could you? I cannot see whose hands on. So please, could you speak up?
Adam.
Yeah, it's me. So I'm not really familiar with mobile application development, but it was surprising to see that is it really a typical use case that the tests are so slow? So you mentioned 5 minutes as an example. It's something very typical, because if it's typical, then there should be a default setup to use Flank to parallelize test, I think. So this was, I just would love to hear your feedback about that.
So yeah, you asking about what is the problems, or most of the problems that you are facing with mobile testing, something like this, or?
Yeah. So is it something that, yes, is the first question, is it typical to have tests running for several minutes in mobile applications? And yeah, this is the first. So is this really a typical value there?
So sorry, I still not getting your question. So you are asking what the real cases for running mobile testing in our case, or what the difficulty in this one, or what exactly?
Yeah, it was interesting to hear that you mentioned this example, how to speed up testing. That was great. I just wanted to hear about the state of the art. Is it always the case that mobile tests are slow? So one test always takes 5 minutes. And is it the only possibility to speed up these tests that's running them in parallel, or are there other possibilities to speed up those tests?
Yeah, I get it now. So almost it's about what the function that we are testing on mobile application. So it's always based on the business. For example, I add the 5 minutes like assumption. But sometimes if you are running end-to-end scenario, so for example, if we are talking about the food delivery application, so you should open the application, you should locate yourself, and then after that you start searching about the restaurant that near to you, and then start to go to the specific restaurant, add items to your menu, and start to go to the checkout and add your like credit card or cash on delivery and so on. So all of these scenarios, so we are moving from one screen to another one. And behind this one is the UI itself. Sometimes it's rendering because you have animations and you have different things, and maybe you have elements behind elements, and it should wait until it displayed. Sometimes you need to add wait, or you need to wait the network, for example, to respond. So behind all of this UI, you have also APIs calls, for example, to load the menu for the restaurant. So you should wait until all the list to display to start adding from it. So sometimes it's based on the business cases itself. And because that, it's always not just to running in parallel, but sometimes you should investigate more on how you can handle the network layer. For example, shall I, if I have a problem and if I am waiting the network to respond to me, but there is no any problem, shall I fill the test now, or shall I using any offline version from database or anything else? Something like animation, you should also like disable the animations on the emulator or simulators. So because animations is affect and it's like it cure the flakiness in the test. Sometimes you found this the application displaying screen quickly, sometimes it take long time, and so on. So it's always about like we should take care about our application itself and the emulator or the device, because it's not like the browser. So for example, if you are running automation on browser, at the end it's HTML, and it's like it renders to HTML, and we are using the same technology with browser. But with devices or mobile, sometimes also it's different from one manufacturer to another. So for example, maybe the application is behave on Pixel is not behaving the same on Samsung or something like this. So we have a lot of factors affect our application. So we always should take care about this one. But in general, the mobile tests, because that mobile testing is challenging, and it's because it's affected from different things, from the OS versions. Sometimes also, what if you want to, or you deployed a new version of your applications and you wanted to test this application with all the device or all the API? For example, I need to test it on an ice cream sandwich or a previous version for Android. So what we will, or what the application will behave on all the devices. So this is also, we need to take care about it. We need to run on different or multiple devices. So sometimes also the barrel help us to run the same test cases on different operating system versions and on different devices. So start watching what the users is using, or what the application behavior in the different devices or operating system. So it's always not related to we will okay, after we parallelize the test, the problem will be fixed, but it's like a one solution for different solution that we need to apply in our mobile testing.